because of me. Okay, but welcome this morning. You are joining, in case you're not sure you're in the right place. We are talking about how are you going to create a successful website. It's the step-by-step course. And here's a little bit of welcome and housekeeping. First of all, question. A daily workbook. You should have received the daily workbook today. It has something that I've done some other trainings and I've gotten workbooks, and I've always asked, why don't they make them fillable? So this one is fillable. Okay, so that's one of my pet peeves that I addressed here for you folks, and so I hope that that's good for you. Now, one of the big things is, remember, if you're doing it on the fillable, your browser isn't like Microsoft Word or Google's Docs. It doesn't automatically save it. You have to remember to save it. Or you're welcome to print it out and write it. However it works for you is fantastic. Okay. And if you are doing it on your screen, if you are doing it on live, what you may want to do is you may end up switching back and forth. If you go to the bottom, if you're on Windows, you can flip between. This is Zoom, and you can have it either go to Firefox or Edge or Google Chrome. I don't have Chrome up on my machine here, but those are the things that you can see. Okay, you can also do an Alt Tab if you know how to do that. But if you know how to do that, you probably don't need to hear this information. Okay, so with that, let me hop in here and just sort of introduce myself. There's those of you who I don't know. My name is Trevor Hamilton. I have been doing web design and digital marketing for over 8 years. Before that, I'm not a young buck. I have been doing sales and marketing for a long time, so I think about web design and digital marketing differently than a number of people I know who come in who are developers or designers. One of the things that surprised me when I started doing this is that I actually have an eye for things that look good. And on occasion, when I design, because I don't design anymore, I can occasionally make things look really good. Okay. So why am I doing this? Why am I creating this? First of all, I would say that for folks like you, when I talk to my customers, most of the time, they don't really understand how what makes a website successful. So I end up saying the same thing over and over and over again. And well, there's lots of programs out there, or there's probably thousands of videos to tell you how to technically create a website on Wix or WordPress or Weebly or any of the systems out there to create a website. I really don't know of any that help people understand how to create a website, the content, and how to organize it in a way that helps make it successful. So that's what I'm doing it today. And I think you're here because you want more than a website. You want a successful website. And here's some of the questions that maybe you ask when you go to a website. And sometimes you'll go to a website and say, that one doesn't make any sense, or I don't understand what they're talking about, or there's not the information that I need here and I don't know where to find it. This is difficult to read. I'm not finding anything, or I'm not convinced. Those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about in the next 7 days together. And so let's get on with it. And I'm going to start through here and start talking about a few things. First of all, you can now go to your fillable document. Again, either you can flip over and do it online, actually fillable or not. The other thing I should tell you in doing this is that I do have fill in the blanks. Don't worry about the fill in the blanks, these fill in the blanks. Rushing to fill them out because the answers are at the bottom. Okay, want to make it easy for you so you're not stressed out at all. So people don't read websites, at least the first time, they skim them. Okay, most people just don't have any time to read a website anymore. They go somewhere and they want to skim through it and say, is it worth my time to be here? Most people have too little time and too many distractions. So you have to think about that when you're creating your website. 10 years ago, when you went to a website and you looked at the homepage, you normally didn't scroll at all. All of the information was on one page, and you would read all of that information, and then you would decide where to go on the website by looking at the menu. Today, we don't do that anymore. These things, our cell phones, have trained us to do it differently, right? And today, when you go to a website, you expect to get a high-level overview of the company as you scroll down the homepage. And it doesn't matter whether it's on a phone or whether it's on your laptop or desktop, we expect to do that. Okay. Now, questions visitors ask. The most important question is, am I in the right place? How many times have you searched somewhere, you end up on the page and you look at the title and you say, am I in the right place? And if you don't think you're in the right place, you move on and you go somewhere else. So they look at that statement in the feature image, and that feature image needs to be easy to, the statement on the feature image, or the very first section, needs to be very easily digestible. 1 to 5 words ideally. And the reason why we want to do that is that the 1 to 5 words actually makes it so that we can skim it. Longer than that, I have to read it. Okay. Then if you go to the next section, they ask the question, am I in the right place again? So they're looking for more information. I've come to my website and it says web design and digital marketing, if you were to go to my website. And then the next section talks about some of the things that we do and breaks them down a little bit. That's often how people are reading a website. They ask the question, they ask it again. They may want to know these things. Who are you? So you may want to tell them about yourself. You may want to tell them your proof about who you are. So a testimonial, an endorsement, a quote from somebody else's blog or a newspaper, any kind of certifications or associations. You'll see people's logos, or they'll also do that with companies that they do business with. You'll see the logos down there. A case study. And a case study can be very simple in numbers, like 4 out of 5 dentists recommend, or you'll go to a website and they'll say, we have more than 10,000 customers. If you have a guarantee, that's also proof. And for me, I'm a designer. So a big part of my work is a design, so I need to have a portfolio. And I know some of you who are on today are artists, so you may want to do that. Again, think about the proof, because when you go to the website, yes, Mike. Can you take yourself off mute there, Mike?
Yeah, that's right. So are you saying that 5 to 7 words should be one of these things when you're coming to the image? So you come to the image and that 5 or 4 or 5 words that you're having should be either about you or about your product or so on, or any of those things that, like the delivery, it's not about it could be those 5 to 7 words could be about the dentist recommending you. It is not about you or your product.
Thank you, Mike. Allow me to clarify. When we're talking here, we're talking about each section. So you want to have a section, the feature image,
right,
is 5 words telling people what you do.
Okay.
What you offer.
Okay.
The next section is, again, talking about what you offer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The next section, you may want to have a section that talks about you.
Right.
Okay. Or you need to have a section with at least one section that has your proof.
Yeah.
So a testimonial, a guarantee, a case study.
But that's all in the first page kind of thing.
On the first page.
Right.
See,
Okay.
we guarantee. Here's what you're going to get. Here's our portfolio. Here's about my company. Here's how we work. Here's a testimonial. We've got some frequently asked questions and a call to action.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
You want to tell people what the next step is. You want to let them understand that you have a process, because people don't want to waste their time. They don't want to end up with a company where they don't want to end up somewhere where they are they don't want to end up with somebody who doesn't have a process, because if they don't have a process, they're probably a waste of time trying to get it all out. And you want to be able to tell people, make it easy for them to buy. This is really essential. How do you get them to be able to take the next step in the purchasing process? Okay, make sense? Okay, so exercise number 1. Write it down right now. You got 1 minute. What do? Write it in 5 words or less. And if you can't write it in 5 words or less, that's okay. Write out whatever you want to do, because this is your workbook. Okay. Okay, that's good. Now let's move on to this next section. Some of you will have multiple products. Some of you only have one product or one service that you offer. But either write down your 3 main products or services, or write down 3 things about the product or service that you offer. Okay, and again, this is just a start of a process we're doing here. We're going to go back and go over these things, so don't expect to get them perfect. This is a scratch sheet for you folks to help you in what you're doing. Okay, next. Again, don't feel you have to get any of this perfect. We're just moving on here. Write down 3 things that make you or your company or your product or service something that is compelling, interesting, or unique. It could be, maybe it's your experience. Maybe it's how you offer it. Just a few ideas. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to head down. Proof. Write down 3 things that provide proof that, oh, I need to finish that statement. Write down at least 3 things that provide proof that that what you offer that provide proof to somebody, a comfort level that what you offer actually works. So for my company, I provide proof in my portfolio. For my company, I provide proof in a testimonial. For my company, I provide proof when I'm talking to somebody talking about our process, about how we project manage. Okay. And next one, how does the buying process work? So for some of you, for me, somebody doesn't go online and buy unless, of course, they're buying a training a piece. But normally, most of my clients, it starts with a conversation for me, understanding about what they need. For others of you, it's different. Maybe for some of you, you just need to schedule an appointment and they need to pay for the appointment. It's all going to be different for different people. Okay, now this one is slightly different. How do people buy? So what is the call to action? Are they going to buy? Are they going to schedule an appointment? Are they going to sign up? What's just one or two words that describe what they're going to do? Okay. We'll let you go in there. By the way, here's the fill in the blanks for the above for any of you who missed getting the above. Okay, so that was in the first section there. So I want to talk a little bit now about business goals, and we'll see how far we get because we're getting close to our time for the day. How do you want your website to impact your business? Okay, it's really important to start with what are we trying to accomplish? So, and we're trying to focus on business goals, not requirements. So sometimes people will come to my company and they'll say, we want a website that we can edit. And we can make the change that we can edit ourselves. So that's a requirement. But a business goal is we need to be able to make the changes faster. Because the people they were working before, might take them a week to make the changes. Or they're looking to lower the cost of making the changes. They're looking to lower the cost, so they want to be able to make changes themselves. Okay. Another example here is we need a mobile-friendly website. That's a requirement. Okay. Some people are like, hey, we need to make sure the website works well on a phone. The business goal for this is we need a website that increases engagement with our mobile users. Or perhaps you need to increase conversion rate. Conversion rate is the number of people who convert to becoming customers or prospects. So when I want you to think about what your business goals are, what's going to make a difference in what are you trying to achieve overall, and what are the business goals that are going to help you achieve that? Okay, again, there's nothing wrong with requirements, and you need to consider the requirements, but you want to be able to see if you can have a measurable impact. So write down at least 3 business goals. So a business goal for most people will be, I need more leads. Not all of you. For many of you, a business goal will be, I need people to engage. And for some of you, many people are going to be, I know a number of you who are on here, many people are going to be engaging primarily with you on a mobile phone. So it has to be, the website has to be mobile friendly in order that it's easy for people to engage from the mobile phone. Okay. So there's 3 things. There's room here for more. So again, this is your worksheet. You can fill this out on your own. And by the way, I want to back up and I want to give Wayne a thank you here. In creating this program, I did this very quickly, and you know what? I'm a digital marketing expert. So I just went through and I created the homepage, and I thought, well, or the landing page for this. And I sent it out to Wayne, and I said, Wayne, what do you think? And he's like, did you do this? And then, you know, I'm always a believer that it's really good not to write things out that are really important for communication and send them right away. It's usually good to sit on them. So 1, I didn't do that. And 2, I didn't do what we're going through here today. I actually had to step back and start to think about what am I trying to accomplish and many of the other things that we're going through here today. And when I went through version 2, Wayne was mostly pleased. So a shout out to Wayne and a thank you for getting me on track and getting me to use my own tools to be more successful. Okay, so here's some other things that you may think of for business goals. Okay. Better rankings on Google, get more traffic on your website, more leads, more sales, lower the cost of editing the website. You need to comply with accessibility guidelines. So you're going to have either one, you're a company with more than 50 employees in Ontario, or somewhere where there's a requirement for accessibility, people who are visually or hearing impaired to be able to use your website easily. Okay, so if you got at least 3 goals down, congratulations. That's not necessarily an easy thing to do. Now, there's one last thing I need you to do. You need to measure your success. It's fine to say you want more leads. How many? Put a stake in the ground. If your business goal is to get more sales, how much more? Is it 15%? Is it 10,000 more a month? You know, who are you? Are you a big company, small company? It doesn't matter. What's your stake in the ground? What do you want to see happen? So head back up here, start to put them in your business goals and your measures. Remember again, what our goal today was not to get you everything today. This is to get you started, to get you thinking about how people are actually looking at your website and thinking about your website. It's things you do all the time, but you don't think about what you're doing and how you do it when you rate a website. You're now going to start to think about that, and we're going to pull together that plan for you that you're going to need to be successful.